I just think that having these things is just relatively cool. I mean, just think about having a lightsaber. Who doesn't want one of these? What's up, Agents? Zero here, and welcome back to another Minecraft add-on showcase. And today we're actually going to be taking a look at the Lightsaber add-on. Now, this was made basically for the Star Wars fans and also pretty much anyone who wants to own a lightsaber inside of Minecraft. This is actually a relatively interesting add because the way this is made, this is not actually replacing any blocks or items that are already in the game. What it's doing is it's taking data values of blocks that are already in the game and using them. So we're not actually using what's in the game. We're using data values that aren't actually being used by vanilla Minecraft, which is actually relatively interesting. So let's go ahead and get started. Actually, before we get started, this is actually created by a guy by the name of Solved Dev. He's the exact same guy that did the Better Armor add-on that I showcased not too long ago, and also he also made the Last Day on Earth map that I've been playing, which, by the way, later this week is actually going to be the final episode. I know it's only been 4 episodes and it's already ending, so be on the lookout for that. So yeah, this is actually a relatively interesting add because this adds in a total of 11 new items, 9 of which are all the lightsabers. The other 2 are, well, these 2 right here. Now, this is a zombie eye, and this is a zombie brain, and these are not renamed by any means. These, if you get these from either killing a zombie or you use commands, which I will be showing you guys how to get these items through commands, it just basically says item, which is okay in a sense, but kind of takes away what these are supposed to be. So it's a zombie eye and a zombie brain. Now, it's fairly obvious how you would get these items. You actually have to obtain them from killing zombies, and they have to be holding the item of which you're trying to get. The only problem is that they only have a very small chance to drop the item that you want, and they can be holding either the zombie eye, the zombie brain, or any of the lightsabers that you want to get. So they have to be holding the item that you want in order for you to get them. But as I just said, it's a low chance that you're going to be getting them in the first place. I'm pretty sure that with a looting sword, you have a better chance of getting them. I don't know. I actually haven't tested that out at all. But I can only assume that since that's the way looting works, then it's probably going to end up working. I don't actually know. So yeah, these are 2 of the items, as I mentioned, that you can get. The other 9 items are all lightsabers. And these are all the lightsabers that you can get from the zombies. And they actually are classified into 4 different tiers. As you can tell, I have them separated into 4 areas. That's because they're in 4 different tiers, and depending on the tier that you get, they'll give you different status effects. So this is a standard tier. These are what's most commonly dropped by zombies. So I'm going to pull out one of them. You will get additional stats depending on which tier you have, but it doesn't matter which color of lightsaber that you have within a respective tier. I can pull out this red lightsaber right here, and I'll do the exact same thing as the green, as does the blue and purple. I'm just going to go ahead and pull out the blue because I like blue. So take a look at my health. I now have 7 additional hearts, and if I go ahead and go out of here, and yeah, I think you guys can guess what this is maybe. So if I go ahead and take this out, I want you guys to take a look around my inventory screen at my FOV. See, I zoomed out. And if I go ahead and switch off of it, I zoom back in. So it's actually relatively easy to see what happens. So I do in fact get a speed boost from holding the standard tier. In fact, I'm going to say this right now. Every single lightsaber, regardless of tier, gives you a health boost and a speed boost. So you're getting 2 of the exact same boosts at the same time, but depending on the tier you have, the buffs are actually increased or decreased depending on if you're going up or down a tier. So as you can tell, I've got 7 additional hearts from holding the standard tier lightsaber. As I mentioned, these are the most common. So this will give you a 0.03 additional speed set, so you're moving a little bit faster but not too much, and you'll do a total of 15 damage with these things, so that's actually not too bad. So let's go ahead and put this away. I just think that having these things is just relatively cool. I mean, just think about having a lightsaber. Who doesn't want one of these? Anyway, let's go ahead and put this away. So that's the standard tier. Now we're going to take a look at the common tier. So take a look at my health this time. I have myself 8 hearts from having the standard tier. So these are less common than the standard, but they're more common than the other 2 tiers, obviously. That's why I have them separated out the way I do in the chest. So common, as you can tell, as I've already mentioned, they give you 8 additional hearts. They also give you 0.04 speed, and you do 17 damage with these. So they're a little bit stronger, not too much, but they are stronger. And okay, for a moment I had a little bit of lag. Okay, so that's actually kind of cool. So let's go ahead and put up the standard tier lightsaber. Now we're going to go into the rare tier lightsaber. Take a look. I have 9 hearts this time, and the speed stat this time is 0.05. So if you guys couldn't notice a pattern here, each time you go up a tier, you increase by 0.01 speed. And the same cannot be said about the actual damage stats, because last time we went from 15 to 17 damage, so that was a total of 2 damage, 1 full heart. This time you're only going up 1 damage, half a heart. This time you only do 18 damage with the rare tier of lightsaber. And last but not least, let's go ahead and put this one up. We have the epic tier of lightsaber, and let me go ahead and pull this out. So the epic tier lightsaber, this, as you can tell, gives you a full extra row of hearts, so that's 10 extra hearts, so you're effectively doubling your stats. As I mentioned, each time you go up a tier, you get 0.01 extra speed from the last stat, so by that means this is actually 0.06, because I mentioned the last tier was 0.05. This time, as far as damage is concerned, you do a full 20 damage. So you start off with 15 damage for the standard tier, then you go up to for 17 damage for the common tier, then we go up to the rare tier, you go up by 1 damage, and then you're going up by 2 damage once again to 20 with this epic lightsaber. So that is all of the lightsabers, and as I did mention, it doesn't matter what color of lightsaber you have, as long as it's in the same tier, it'll give you the exact same stats. Now, as I mentioned, you can get all these items through commands, and they're actually relatively easy to get. Now, as far as the zombie is concerned, I didn't actually have to summon him through commands. They just have a random chance to spawn holding the item in question. So I did not need to specifically spawn him with an item, you just kind of have spawn with it. But as far as the items are concerned, if you want to get them through commands, this is how you get them. And I just realized I need to be in creative mode in order to access the command block. So let me go ahead and do that. I should have set up a command block that puts me back into creative, but I didn't. Okay, now we're in creative, so now we should be able to access the command block. So this is the command that is used to give you all of the items. You do /give, or I guess in the case of a command block, you don't actually need to use the slash. Then you put @p or whoever you want to give it to, yellow_flower, and then 1, and 1 technically means that's how many you get. If I were to change the first one to maybe a 3, then I would end up getting 3 of that item. And then the second one, that is the data value for the item that you're going to get. So if I go ahead and leave this at 1, I press this, I'm getting then this lightsaber. If I go ahead and change this to 2, and I press this button again, it gives me a different lightsaber. So it's actually relatively simple, and you can go all the way up to 11. And let me go ahead and show you guys what I meant by this. So if I go ahead and set this one to 3, so if I press this, this is going to end up giving me 3 of these zombie brains. And as I mentioned, these do say just basically items. So yeah, that's the thing. But if you were to go ahead and if I go ahead and change this back to 1 just because I can, if I change this to 12, go ahead and press this button, this is just going to give me a basic yellow flower. And it just simply says item because it really doesn't know what to do with that. Hi, I'm wondering, is it going to notice any difference if I were to go ahead and set to, I don't know, maybe 17s again? Notice any difference whatsoever? I don't actually know. Okay, no. Oh! Okay, that's actually relatively interesting to know. So, depending on what number above 11 you go, it will either say item or it will say lightsaber. That's actually kind of interesting to know. I did not know that. Let me go ahead and open the creative inventory because this, as I mentioned, is replacing the yellow flower, so I don't actually know. Is this going to say, yeah, it just basically says item. Okay, so that's actually kind of interesting. So you can't actually get dandelions, as they're actually called, in even survival mode. It's just items. So that is something to be aware about. But other than that, that's actually going to have to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure that like button. Well, more than make sure that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCP0 to stay updated. This has been Zero Studios. Thank you guys for watching. And with that, I will see you guys later.